after reviewing the resolution and kind of walked through it a little bit with her, she told me that she's been in conversation with Mr. Ritter, as well as Dave Britton from GHD extensively with regard to the I&I issues. And other than that, I think I would leave it up to maybe Mr. Ryder for her to discuss.
Yeah, this is we're going to be doing a flow study for to try to find some I&I within the system. The grant is going to be for request $30,000 in funding to be matched $6,000 using in-kind contributions provided by the town of Lewiston, the treatment plant, and it's, let's see, whereas the town of Lewiston is proposing a wastewater collection and treatment improvement planning study to address inflow and infiltration sources within the existing sanitary sewer collection system tributary to the WPCC, documented sanitary sewer, and upgrade of an existing wastewater system and future restoration of wastewater collection system. So in a nutshell, we're going to be looking for problems in the wastewater treatment system, the collection system, and trying to move on correcting this.
And this is just parlaying our money, is what it is, right? It's just, we're getting some free money by providing some in-kind services.
Right.
We've done these studies in the past in order to identify.
Long time ago.
So this will be another good addition. So
Real in time, even though you didn't prepare this, you had time to read it.
I did. It's essentially, what the board would be doing is granting approval for the grant writer to submit an application for a grant, and the grant is for an engineering planning study. So if they get the grant, it would be essentially state money that would be provided to allow for the study of the system.
For approval as printed.
second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Also, we have a resolution that we already approved for Edmonds and Associates for computer software upgrade. We approved it for water. It's the same resolution, but it's going to include water, payroll, and finance. Tom, you want to explain that real quick?
Sure, it's a standardization resolution relative to the software. We discussed it, the software that the town utilizes relative to different departments. We discussed it within the last two board meetings, and we passed a resolution specifically for the water department. At the time, we anticipated doing a similar resolution at the beginning of next fiscal year relative to personnel and finance. But upon receiving and reviewing the contract with Edmonds, they'd like us to move on everything at this point. As far as finance and personnel, they're not billing us until next year. It's just the signing of the contract relative to that. The standardization is applicable across the board. It's so that you could have the same software utilized by the town employees throughout, the municipal offices. And the last resolution was specific just to the water department. Upon reviewing the contract, I changed literally just a few words to change it just from the water department to also finance and personnel. And otherwise, the resolution exactly mirrors the resolution that you passed the other month.
Move for approval as printed.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you. Do you have anything else under legal, Tom?
I have one other thing, Supervisor, which is that I was forwarded a letter, I believe it was sent to you, with regard to the Teamsters Local Union number 264. They have their collective bargaining agreement is coming up. It expires December 31st of 2019. This would be the group that is essentially the office group. As far as the legal contract that our firm has with the town, these negotiations relative to unions are real extra. So We currently have an ongoing negotiation with regard to the wastewater treatment plant workers, CSEA. And if you'd like us to move forward and begin negotiations with the Teamsters relative to this, this union number, then I would ask for a motion and approval on that, and we would begin work on this.
Brief discussion. Move for approval to authorize Stephen Norris to engage in negotiation with
The Teamsters local union number 264.
264.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Discussion?
And this is part of our contract that they do additional work at an already pre-established rate.
Correct.
Right, yeah, correct. And like I said, you know, they're familiar with the negotiation process with other unions, and it kind of keeps the same. So any other questions?
Steve, you're the person you're the representative.
Right, right.
So you're involved
Yes,
pretty much all the time?
pretty much all the time. There's some meetings that I don't need to attend.
No, I
Yeah.
don't mean every meeting.
Right. Yeah, the negotiations, yes.
Yeah. Not that, trust Tom, but
No, no,
it's, we like you guys.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Thank you.
no problem. Engineering.
Yes, I believe you should have in your packet, something entitled encroachment stipulation letter. It's actually from Kinder Morgan. What this does is it governs the conditions during which, when we get to the construction of the water line, and we're in this area, or in these areas, one's along Fletcher Road, one's along River Road, that we operate in certain fashion, with certain equipment. We install tracer tape and tracer wire, just some general conditions over the construction of the water line in those particular areas that we encroach on the easement by 10 CBN. So it's kind of a formality. We would take this executed document and insert it into the contract document, so all proposed bidders and contractors will know that they have to comply with those regulations in those particular areas.
We don't need to take any action, received it.
I would ask that the supervisor be authorized to sign it, so I would ask the board to pass it to that.
Tom's looking at
Yeah, I'll say, excuse me, we've reviewed this, and it's a standard type of stipulation, so we'd recommend.
Motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the said document, encroachment stipulation letter. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much. Anything else?
Nope, that's it, unless there's any questions.
Finance.
Tonight I have 3 budget revisions that I ask for the board to approve. The first one is in the building department. I'm requesting to move $156 to the building contractual budget from the dog control contractual budget to cover the purchase of trees and shrubs outside of town hall.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
The second revision is for $269, also in the building department. Moving the $269 to the building equipment budget from the dog control equipment budget to cover the purchase of a lawnmower for the grounds at town hall.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Question?
Will our parks department not cut the grass?
Well, we have our own maintenance guy. We have John. He's responsible for it. Whoever's been in that position has always been in that position.
Right.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
The parks department.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
The third and last budget revision is requesting to move $5,084 to the water equipment budget from the water miscellaneous revenue budget to cover the purchase of 2 fire hydrants. This purchase is funded from the DASNY grant that was received in March of this year. So it's increasing both the equipment and increasing both the revenue line.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. That's it? Jackie?
That's it.
Okay. There was one other thing I wanted to add. Mike Dashon's been looking at our pavilions at all our parks, Kiwanis, Washuta, and Fletcher Road. several of them are in need of roof replacements and maintenance. So what I would ask, I'm not gonna command, but I would ask that we have our building inspector assess those buildings, come up with a solution, so that next month we can put a bid together and send it out to bid to do the work. Would you be willing to do that?
Yes.
Okay, is everybody okay with that?
Makes sense.
And if by some chance you think the work is too excessive, make that recommendation. If it's worthwhile, we may have to replace some of these buildings.
I looked at them about a year ago, and when those pavilions were originally constructed, they were very well built, quality construction types. So, you know, I think it's worth investing some maintenance in them. So,
Absolutely. I think there's only one that looked like it was kind of just put up, but everything else is solid.
laminated beams,
Yeah.
1.5 inch decking. I mean, it's
Tongue and groove, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the concrete pads around it too.
Okay.
Some of them seem to be out of kilter.
Okay.
That'll include Sanborn, there's a one in Sanborn, isn't there, for concrete?
Are you talking just the ones at Fletcher Park, Shooter Park? Are you talking?
Well, I would say all of them. I would say Kiwanis.
Okay.
I would say all of them.
All right.
You know, and I'll drive around with you
Right.
and, we'll tackle every part. We don't want to leave anybody out.
All right.
And then that way, if we put it out to bid, hopefully you'll get the most bang for your buck that way.
But Sanborn Park, that is all our responsibility also?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I don't think we need a motion for that. Moving on to Councilman Bax.
Make a motion to accept with regret the resignation or retirement of Tim Sullivan from the wastewater treatment plant.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. I have a question. Jeff, how many years?
38, I believe.
God bless us.
Well, I want to commend Mr. Sullivan on 38 years of service to the town of Lewiston. And as for, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Please thank him very much.
And I have a request for reimbursement of the sewer fees for the refilling of a 22,000 gallon pool from Elisa Jones at 5978 Miller Road. The receipt for the pool repairs has been submitted, so I make a motion to reimburse her on her water bill of $89.99.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Discussion.
Oh, go ahead.
I thought we could only do this when we first built the pool.
Jeff, this meets our town use code, right?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So you can get it done, like with a line replacement.
Yes.
I was misunderstood. Thank you.
Is it a one-time or?
Well, it's a one-time free fill, okay? But we have always been, if somebody replaces the liner or does any kind of work to an in-ground pool, we've always
Waived this.
waived.
Okay.
I think I'll be on the agenda next month.
Putting one in or repairing?
I've been in the bottom of the pool for about a weekend, so, yes.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye. That's all I have.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Councilman Guyton.
Well, I have nothing on the agenda, but noticing that there's no camera brought to attention by Mr. Lyle, I will check into it because I was under the impression that, well, the fact is that camera is supposed to stay here. And if it's going to leave the building, we have to know where it is and why it's leaving. Correct, Donna? That's our policy.
Thank you very much. Councilman Jacoby.
We have a thing for the emergency communications tower. I think it's best if I just read it, it's going to add with.
Okay.
Town of Lewiston, a local law amending the towers law to permit the construction of lattice towers. Be it enacted by the town board of the town of Lewiston as follows. Chapter 320 of the town code, local law number 4-1997, entitled Towers Law of the Town of Lewiston, provides for the construction and operation of telecommunication towers, radio and television towers, wind energy conservation tower arrays, and similar facilities. 2. Section 320.3.A in parentheses 2 of the town code defining lattice tower is hereby amended by removing the words not permitted and adding the words a communication tower consisting of freestanding framework. 3, Section 320.3 of the Town Code is hereby amended by adding as subsection C thereof the word C, a lattice tower shall be permitted only if its sole purpose is for public safety or emergency communication. This local law shall become effective immediately upon filing with the Secretary of State.
We have a motion, we have a second.
We have a back, should we
Oh,
give it back?
I think that's what you're amending, isn't it?
yeah, that's the original.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So we're doing the public hearing?
yeah, so although our firm has generally recused ourselves from that particular tower issue that has to deal with the county, I'll speak generally about the passing of laws, which would be, today would be your introduction of this law to the board, and then the next step would be notice and publication in the newspaper and a hearing on it.
Okay.
And there's a couple other steps. This would be the beginning of it. And then if you wanted it on the next agenda, Donna would need to publish it and notify it, notice it for a
Do we
public
need a
hearing.
motion for that?
You actually know.
Okay.
If you intend it to be on, I suspect you would want it on, you could do that as a motion. Just pass a motion to put it on for the next board meeting and ask the clerk
Call for the
to
public hearing?
call for a public hearing. Yeah.
That would be August 24th? 26th. So we have a motion?
We already have authorized just attorney to represent us.
Yeah, that's what Mr. Thorman is here for. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Go ahead. Did Mr. Furman have anything to say?
Just let you know that I discussed a proposed lease with Claude George, and I think we've got everything worked out. And the proposed lease will be presented to you in advance hopefully for your review and approval at your August 26th meeting, following the public hearing. And if the amendments to the town law are passed, then you'll also consider the lease at that time.
And as we spoke earlier, the highway department, everything's going on swimmingly. It should come along in good order.
And one of the issues was they're going to be moving a utility pole across the street. The county will be paying for that. The county's going to allow the town to tap into it for the purpose of providing service. The town, of course, will have to pay for its service, but it won't have to pay for tying in or moving the utility pole.
Will it be this year, Matt?
Yes, this project will probably be completed by November.
Thank you very much. And that, I think that ties into that public safety communication proposed lease agreement, so, anything else, John?
No, that's all I have.
Okay. Councilman Morial?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk, to let the press know, because they weren't here at the July 8th meeting, that we passed a resolution to move forward with National Grid for our streetlights conversion program. And we hope that by the end of the year to have all the streetlights replaced. I've had a couple residents ask me, how come we're not doing the streetlights? We mind putting it in that we did move forward with that. I want to thank everybody, Tim Masters especially, and everybody on this board for helping getting this done. It was a long year and a half.
Well, I want to commend you and Tim. Tim informed me the other day that we received a bronze certification through NYSERDA, which means, do you know off the top of your head exactly what that means?
We've hit all these milestone markers, like we've put in the electric car charging station, which had a guy from Miami charging at it today because he saw us on the map. So it was very interesting. I stopped and talked to him. And we got a grant, paid 80% of that. We along with the streetlight program, we added insulation to this building, to the senior center building. We did LED lighting on all of our town buildings. So every time we do an action item, we send information to NYSERDA, and every time we do an action item, it gets us a higher rating. So they told me the other day through an email that we are now at a bronze rating, and that did not include the streetlights. So at some point, Jason from NYSERDA is going to come and do a little publication press conference to let you know exactly what we did and how we got to where we are, and what that bronze means, so.
Part of that included you attending an 8-hour seminar?
Yes.
Yeah, a long day.
That was a long day.
Yeah.
Can't think of a better person.
Well, thank you, both of you, thank you very much. So now we move on to resident statements. I only had the privilege of the floor from earlier. Is there anybody else who would like to speak? Nobody? Okay. Real quick, before we move to executive session, where I do not believe we're going to take any action, is that correct?
I don't anticipate any action needed to be taken.
Upcoming boards, commission meetings, there'll be no work session in August. Zoning Board of Appeals is August 8th at 6:30 p.m. Environmental Commission, August 12th at 7 p.m. Environmental Commission, Planning Board, August 15th at 6:30 p.m. And the Historic Preservation, August 20th at 6 p.m.
Steve, did you want to make mention of the finance department review of that report we had from the auditor?
Go ahead if you want to.
Yeah, I think that was an outstanding report, really. And I think Jackie deserves a little accolade for that.
Well, I think it started with Marty, and I think when Marty knew she was going to leave, Marty actively participated in her replacement, which was Jackie, so I think both of them get credit. If you look at the bars, and, you know, for anybody that wants them, we have extra copies. If you look at the bar graph, and you just look back to 2014 to today, we've made real strides, and you know, I commend everybody on the board that participated in that. So with that,
Before you adjourn, don't forget the Sanborn event this weekend.
go ahead.
It's the Sanborn Farm Festival this weekend, and there will be a presentation at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. The whole board is invited. There will be a presentation to the supervisor and the town board for their sewer extension.
Yes.
Yes.
And also,
Stay for breakfast.
breakfast in the morning, both days?
Pancake breakfast, 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
And,
just-
yes.
Hey,
I'll be there. Be
Right.
flipping them.
and plenty of burgers.
We have to have it all set by the time we get there at 9-ish.
Yeah.
And then,
I'll say good luck.
again, on Sunday, there's an event, and I will be in the food tent for a while.
Eating or serving?
Both.
No.
You know me, if there's food up there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I would ask for a motion to move into executive session
So moved.
for the purpose to discuss a personnel issue in regards to a particular employee.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, everybody, for coming.